I am so close I can see what you're wearing. I'll walk down here and see what else. Wow, look at you all. I've never been this far back. How's it look up there? I don't think I can stand back there. I do have a story to tell you, and I don't want you to get confused because say, wait a second, the guy was in surgery every time we see him in surgery. So I did have a surgery last fall, the fall before, but this is a story you do not know. This is something that happened to me back in June of 2004. 15 years ago, the spring of 2004 actually, it all began with a series of headaches. This was unusual for me, so much so that after a few weeks of these headaches, I figured I better visit with my doctor. He listened, arranged for me to have an MRI the next day, and within hours of that MRI, the doctor called me to say I had a brain tumor. I needed surgery to remove it. I had a brain tumor. I needed surgery to remove it. Long story short, within a few weeks, I was a patient at Mass General. On my pre-op day, I found myself sitting in a flimsy hospital gown, in a sterile, very empty hallway, waiting for a CAT scan. The occasional technician walked by, but I was not altogether sure that they hadn't lost me in the bowels of the hospital. Then along came another patient. He sat down and struck out a conversation. I don't remember if I said a word, but I do remember that he was talking. He told me he had had several CAT scans. He told me they were nothing to worry about. He also told me that he had had successful brain surgery, that I needn't worry about that either, that everything would be okay. Here's the strange part. I don't remember what the man looked like. I don't remember if he had a CAT scan before mine. I don't even remember where he went. I don't remember anything about him, except that he was there with his healing message, and then he was gone. It was as if I had been visited by the biblical prophet Elijah. Yes, that's right, I really mean it. It was as if I had been visited by the biblical prophet Elijah, the figure in today's reading from the Hebrew Scripture, from the Hebrew Bible. Except this time around, 2004, I saw Elijah. That's how Jewish legend presents the prophet Elijah. He's bigger than life in Jewish tradition, larger than his story in the book of Kings. For if you look back there in the book of Kings at the full biblical story of Elijah, you will notice something extraordinary. In the biblical chapters that follow today's reading, Elijah grows older, but he doesn't ever seem to die. Rather, we're told a bit later in the book of Kings that when it was time for Elijah to finish his journey on earth, he was taken up to heaven in a chariot of fire. No death. It's as if Elijah just moves on to another chapter of life. That means, at least according to legend, that means that Elijah can return to visit us because he never died. So, there is a legend that because he's still alive, Elijah visits every Passover Seder of every single Jewish household around the whole earth. He does this every year. And he does this because he's supposed to be the one to announce the coming of the Messiah when the whole world will be free. But legend also places Elijah in 100 other settings. He shows up He shows up when someone is in distress. Elijah shows up to act on behalf of the poor or to act on behalf of the defenseless. One of my favorite Elijah stories places Elijah as a stranger on a cold, snowy December night. Elijah finds his way to a small Jewish family's house, and they invite him in to share in the meager celebration of Hanukkah. Remember, they don't know he's Elijah. And there's only one problem. They have virtually no potatoes for the potato pancakes that are supposed to be part of the dinner that follows the lighting of the Hanukkah lights. The family doesn't know their guest is Elijah. But somehow this guest has a sack of potatoes in his backpack. He gives it to them. They make many, many potato latkes. They eat together, they laugh, and they have a wonderful evening together. Next morning, the guest is gone. Of course, it was Elijah who has come and gone, bringing hope and comfort for those in need. In this case, this one poor family. So, to go back to the hospital, Mass General, maybe that morning in 2004, Elijah did that for me. Elijah made my day better that morning. Or, if it wasn't Elijah, then maybe it was someone else who simply read my face and had his own bit of teaching for me. It doesn't matter that he didn't know me. It doesn't matter that I never caught his name. We were two human beings, and in his own way, this person became my Elijah. He was the right person in the right place at the right time. There's an old Yiddish saying that captures Elijah's role. It goes like this. When Elijah the prophet is your wagon driver, the ride is always good. When Elijah the prophet is your wagon driver, the ride is always good. But here's my question. If Elijah showed up back in 2004 for little old me, where has he been in the last 15 years? I haven't had another visit in all that time. Or have I? Better still, have you? Has Elijah stepped into your life? Anytime, any place. The truth may be that most of us sitting here are not primed for such occasions. We are generally primed for the worst. We often expect the worst. The news is generally not so good. We wait for the other shoe to fall. We almost anticipate that someone or something negative will cross our paths and darken even a day as bright as this day. I'm not saying we're dyed-in-the-wool pessimists, although I think it is easy for us to act as if the worst is yet to come. We may be like the person who gets two telegrams. One, the first telegram, describes a series of unfortunate events that have befallen someone we love. The second telegram arrives and simply reads, "More bad news to come." And perhaps that is why we need to come here to church. Sunday is our antidote to that bad telegram. Sunday is our antidote to Monday. The world we create in this sanctuary is our antidote to what may or may not happen outside these walls. Here, we believe in good people. Here, we smile. Here, we believe in good outcomes. Here we tell stories about Jesus, who, like Elijah, reached out to the common people, spoke to them, listened to them, healed them, and loved them. Consider today's story from the Gospel of Luke.
when everyone else will have nothing to do with that troubled, naked man, when everyone else will have nothing to do with them, Jesus talks to him, reassures him, dresses him, heals him, returns him to his family. It is about as sweet and loving a story as can be told. And we tell this story about Jesus, and we tell so many more stories like this in this place because we human beings need such stories. The real world can be too cruel. The outside world can be unforgiving. The Monday world, Tuesday world, Wednesday world can be so harsh. Which is why you and I need support if we're going to survive. You and I, we need faith. Which means we need to carry in our souls stories that assure us the world can be better. Elijah did not live 2,900 years ago. Jesus did not only live 2,100 years ago. Each of them, in a way, is still alive. Each of them, because he is alive, offers hope and comfort in the face of whatever attacks us. So here's my question now for you. Has Elijah visited you? Don't answer too quickly. Has Elijah visited you? Don't respond before you think twice about some of the people you may have encountered this past week, or even all the way back through the winter. Somewhere along the line, did someone give you an extra moment to compose yourself? Somewhere along the line, did someone, for example, at the grocery store, help you get that bag of flour that was down too low or up too high and way too heavy, but someone, for some reason, helped you get that bag of flour? Did an unexpected family member remember your birthday? Did a friend remember a special date in your life? Did someone help you navigate an icy sidewalk one wintry day in January? Did someone remind you to take your new medication? Did someone listen to a story you told? Maybe a story you've told 100 times, but did someone listen the 101st time? Did someone say, I love you? Did anyone make any day or any part of one day better than you thought it might be? If so, then I'm willing to say Elijah did step into your life. You just missed it. Or you took it for granted. Or like all of us, you rushed along because you had something else to tend to. But that is what church and faith are all about. We come here and we pause to remind ourselves that blessings can be found if we search for them, if we want them. I'm not naive. I'm not cynical. I know how much evil there is in our world, but I also can't believe that evil should have the last word. That's not how Elijah saw it. That's not how Elijah lived it. That's certainly not how Jesus saw it or how Jesus lived it. For each of them, and for me too, there's always tomorrow and hope and the possibility of comfort. There's an old Jewish saying which maintains that if you treat everyone as if he or she is the Messiah, it won't matter if they aren't the Messiah. That's because a world in which we behave better, a world in which we expect others to do so is already a transformed world, a world with no room for tears. One step at a time, one kind word at a time. That's what Elijah offers. That's what faith is all about. One step at a time, one kind word at a time. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. We're safe here. Elijah is always just around.